What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Grace arrested after Liam's tumor con job exposed. Prison awaits? The Bold and the Beautiful hint that Grace Buckingham may be arrested after Liam Spencer's tumor fake-out gets exposed. Will prison await the money grabber in the end? Based on all the evidence that BNB's offering at this point, it seems like Liam was treated for a tumor that never truly existed. Liam indeed landed in the hospital with a brain bleed after his collapse at Bill Spencer's place, but the rest appears to have been an elaborate scheme. In order to give the impression that Liam had an inoperable brain mass, it wouldn't have been difficult to substitute other scans for his own. As for the decline in Liam's condition, we'd say the drugs Grace gave him are to blame for that. Grace has seemingly been putting the pieces in place for this scam all along, and once Dollar Bill was there to foot the bill for Liam's medical miracle, she moved to the final phase. In other words, Grace apparently invented Liam's tumor so that she could convince Bill to pay for an unexpected cure. The surgery that Liam just went through probably didn't involve more than a cut on the back of his head to sell this. Of course, Grace is probably scrambling to pay off old debt connected to her ex-husband, Reese Buckingham. It's easy to see that Grace feels guilty about what she's doing, but she may be protecting Zoe Buckingham, Kiara Barnes, and Paris Buckingham if they've been threatened over owed money. Regardless of what Grace is up against, it's cruel to manipulate Liam and Bill like this. Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester are manipulation victims too, since they've been dreading Liam's eventual demise. There was no need for any of that if Liam's tumor was a scam from the start. You can bet that Bill will want Grace to pay when the truth inevitably comes out. Grace may eventually be arrested for faking Liam's dire condition and persuading Bill to pay a lot of money for an experimental treatment that wasn't even real. It'll be satisfying if Grace gets dragged away in handcuffs and thrown behind bars. With all the debt drama, the show may try to make Grace cry, but she deserves to be locked up for her crimes. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Grace won't get away with this indefinitely, so stay tuned for updates on the infuriating news ahead and Bill's fierce reaction. Bill's new sin, Grace's scheme, and Liam's fate. The Bold and the Beautiful reveal there will be some shockers and bombshells. What is Liam Spencer's fate after disappearing from the surgical center? Bill Spencer will definitely be questioned, especially if he keeps the patient in hiding. Plus, Grace Buckingham got a huge payoff, but her story isn't over just yet. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. The future of Liam Spencer. Fans know that Bill told Grace that he would write her a blank check if Liam survives. The doctor and her colleague did the secret surgery and claimed it was a success. While the tumor has been removed, according to Grace, there are still a lot of risks and unknowns until Liam wakes up. So far, Liam is still unconscious. In fact, later this week, Bill drags an unconscious Liam out of the hospital. Therefore, Bill's strategy may be demonstrated to us next week. Does he collaborate with Grace? Will she come to the house and take care of Liam? In the event of complications, why not carry out this in a hospital? Bridget Forrester suspicious. Fans know that Bridget Forrester panicked when Liam went missing from the hospital. Bridget went to John Finn Finnegan, but he didn't seem as concerned. Bridget and Finn eventually discovered that Grace had released Liam, but neither doctor could understand why. Then, because Bill would do anything to save his son's life, they assumed he was involved. However, now that Liam has had the experimental procedure, will Grace tell everyone the truth? Or will they keep it a secret until Liam wakes up? Taylor Hayes' risk. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for next week reveal that Taylor Hayes will get increasingly nervous. She is looking forward to sealing the deal with Ridge Forrester, but she's paranoid about Brooke Logan. Eric Forrester invited Brooke to tag along on a trip with him and Ridge. Brooke accepted Nick Marone's invitation to travel to Italy by air. We know that Ridge and Brooke will be in Italy together at the same time as Nick. So, it sounds like Bridge likely reunites, and Taylor will end up with another broken heart. Grace arrested after Liam's tumor con job exposed. Prison awaits? As Grace Buckingham's elaborate medical scheme looks like it might collapse, The Bold and the Beautiful gives us hints at an explosive outcome. Fans are beginning to wonder whether Liam Spencer ever had a tumor because of the growing level of suspicion surrounding his brain surgery. And if not, how deep does Grace's manipulation run, and will she end up behind bars for it? It all started when Liam collapsed at Bill Spencer's mansion and was rushed to a surgical center. The diagnosis: a sudden, inoperable brain tumor. What are the odds? Grim. But the promise of a miraculous, experimental surgery, one that Grace practically forced on Liam, offered hope. Viewers were told that the tumor had to be removed immediately or Liam would die. Desperation took hold. Bill, fearing for his son's life, didn't hesitate to foot the massive medical bill Grace suggested, even wiring over $1 million to secure treatment from her mysterious, soft-spoken colleague, Dr. Adhikari. But as the dust settles, the cracks in the story begin to show. The scans were never checked properly. The surgical team operated in secret with no oversight. And worst of all, Liam hasn't regained consciousness since. Bridget Forrester, stunned to find Liam's hospital bed empty, is the first to start asking questions. John Finn Finnegan joins her, baffled by the report that Grace herself discharged the patient. Neither can comprehend why Liam was taken out of the hospital in such a fragile state, unless something much more sinister is at play. Now, rumors are flying that Liam's tumor was completely fabricated. That Grace swapped medical scans and doped Liam with drugs to simulate tumor-like symptoms. That the surgery was little more than a shallow cut to the skull, a staged performance to convince Bill and everyone else that a miracle had occurred. Most damning of all, Grace orchestrated a massive cash grab to pay off her debts and possibly protect her daughters, Paris and Zoe, from dangerous threats from her estranged husband, Reese Buckingham. If this is true, the emotional devastation is beyond words. Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester were shattered, believing Liam was dying. Bill Spencer fell to his knees praying for a miracle, offering to trade his own life for his son's. And all of it, the tears, the pain, the grief, would have been for nothing more than a carefully designed lie. Grace's guilt has been noticeable. Her nervous glances, shaky voice, and desperate insistence that everything is fine only deepen suspicion. Even her quiet colleague seems hesitant, perhaps a co-conspirator too scared to blow the whistle. But now that the miracle surgery is complete and Liam has vanished from the hospital, the truth may soon come roaring into the light. As Grace lies low, authorities may begin to circle. It's not just fraud, it's endangerment, deception, and manipulation on a massive scale. If Liam's condition was faked and his treatment was unnecessary or even harmful, then criminal charges are inevitable. Grace could face arrest for medical fraud, malpractice, and financial extortion. The drama intensifies as Bill is grilled over Liam's disappearance. Did he help orchestrate this? Was he simply a pawn in Grace's game, or did he make a snap decision to whisk his son away for recovery out of fear or pride? Either way, he could find himself entangled in the legal storm that's brewing. Bridget and Finn's suspicions won't go away quietly. They'll dig. They'll find inconsistencies. And once the truth comes out, they'll report it. Hope and Steffi, meanwhile, are devastated. If Liam's tumor never existed, then every tear they cried was for a lie. They may confront Grace with fury, and perhaps regret not questioning things sooner. Hope, especially, will be heartbroken. She was ready to say goodbye. She even told Carter Walton she needed to prepare for life without Liam. Now, that loss feels like a cruel hoax. Naturally, Liam's future remains uncertain. He's still unconscious, hidden away by Bill in an unknown location. If Grace truly botched a non-existent surgery, will Liam wake up with permanent damage, or worse, never wake at all? That possibility may haunt everyone involved. The CBS soap teases that Grace's downfall could be imminent. She's cornered, and once the charges start piling up, she may face arrest in a very public and humiliating fashion. Picture her dragged away in handcuffs as Bill and the Forresters watch, their expressions a mix of rage and betrayal. A tearful explanation may follow, revealing that Grace did it to protect her family from Reese's creditors, or to escape a past mistake she couldn't fix. But even a tragic backstory won't be enough to save her from justice. Meanwhile, the storyline ripples across the canvas. Steffi, Hope, Carter, Brooke Logan, and even Ridge Forrester begin to react to the chaos. Trust is shattered. Families are reeling. The consequences are long-lasting. And in another corner of the B&B world, Taylor Hayes is experiencing her own anxiety. Though she's focused on rebuilding her life with Ridge, she can't shake the feeling that Brooke is once again slipping into his orbit. A surprise trip to Italy puts Brooke and Ridge in close proximity, and the romantic setting could spark a reunion. Taylor, sensing this, braces for another heartbreak.